it comes off of, if it's any helpful context, it comes off of the back of, you know, things like, oh, I bet they're gonna pull the race card.
Yeah.
I bet it's gonna be 'cause I'm black. Those type
Bro,
of lines.
like, you know what it is, yeah? We like, we've had to endure so much fuckery, so much injustices. Our fight hasn't and doesn't stop. It's continuous. And it's always off of the back of fuckers on our necks and not releasing. We can't catch a minute. The attack is real, psychologically, spiritually, financially, emotionally. How many others? There's just too many. Right. From they got hold of us. They just altered our way. They took away our life. Like, you can still be alive and be a corpse.
I feel like what he's saying is actually the depths of it. Like, he's talking about the roots of how we get to the shallow parts here. But we even talk about some shallow bits that are just a general decay. Do you know what I mean? So for example, now you can look at all three of us here, and we're different shades of black here, and that represents different struggles. Do you know what I mean? And I can tell you now, that a dark skinned man's struggle is different to these men's struggles. And their struggles are still separate from each other. Do you know what I mean? But they're still just the same as a struggle. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I can tell you that there's things that I experience every day till today, but I know it's because I'm dark skinned. That there's some struggles that I receive that I wouldn't get if I was light skinned. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
And that happens continuously all the time. And I could imagine that, obviously, I would say I'm very much mentally strong and emotionally mature, so there's a lot of things I can deal with that I just see people for what they are and I don't really frustrate me. But if this was the 2009 me, 10 to 2012, I would have, sometimes you can imagine how you can just outburst. Do you know what I mean? There was a point where I just used to actually despise security guards. I always wanted to tell them that they're not police and you work here and I can come back to you any day of the week. That used to be my main thing. I'm gonna come back here where you work. You're gonna finish work at 5 o'clock.
They're the slave patrol for shots.
And they used to annoy me the most because you just always following me, you always this and that. And I'm thinking, there's times I'm thinking, I made your salary for the month yesterday. Do you know what I'm saying? And these times, it's like, I'm like, what? But I'm only 21, 22, do you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking there's guys that are weaker than me, but maybe they're gonna do more, maybe they're gonna explode, do you know what I mean? And it's like, raw. And that's just a minor decay that you're dealing with. And there's probably subliminal decays that's going on, that's going on. So it's like, you've got multiple decays going on that you can't really beat or see. And it's like, so I can imagine why some people feel like, they're being victimized or they're playing that card, because sometimes I think they feel like it's so long since I haven't felt this way, and that's why it creates a knock-on effect. For example, why a lot of people have bad spending habits, because they felt away for so long and they don't even know why they feel this way. But so as soon as they get in a financial position that maybe they're a bit good or sweet, they put themselves in a bad position because that was their, I don't care, I'm gonna feel good for just 2 days or 1 day or whatever it is.
Or for the moment.
Or for the moment, literally.
We have to also understand, so there is no other colour that has been intentionally targeted and marketed towards in every kind of arena. So the level of intention, we are the victims of a specific target in a marketing and strategy. There's a whole strategy on how to kind of decommission the black family. There's an actual intention and strategy, and you can see it playing out. So when people talk about that, like victimization and stuff, without kind of the context of what the level of intent was behind it, the level of intent now, we're seeing it playing out today in terms of that we're going to make them think they're not slaves, but they're going to still be enslaved mentally. That is very vivid to see. The level of intent, the level of the language that they use, the schooling, everything is a victimization. The difference now is we do have access to information where we can tap out. And I'm not, if people can't, fair enough, it's just a madness of a beast. But for those that can get out, they're the ones that you have to rate, because they are able to say, I see the program, I know what it is now, boom, let me help my people get out.
But that's another thing. Where is out?
There is no out.
There isn't.
There isn't an out, and
But the
how
out's
can
in.
you? So how can you not be a victim of it?
And what are them people that actually exit though? You know, there's them people like, because before I used to think financial was the only exit,
Nah.
yeah. But sometimes that's even to worse. That's even to bigger chains and bigger whips. But I feel like
Financially is not the
Chains,
one.
and look, that's how deep the thing is. Chains and whips. He mentioned chains and whips, and those are just two of the things that us as a people, men, black men, worship. We worship foreign cars, whips, chains, shackles. Yo, the fuckery, the intent, right, is within how we look, right? Because they used the mixing of other races as division, as a class system. How can you not be a victim of that if that was a part of the plan?
So in society,
It's used as a weapon.
They use it to say, well, look, we've got lots of mixed people here, but if you look at the royalty, they do not mix there.
Right,
But beneath that,
right.
yes, sure, we're
Right.
diverse culture now. Of course we can, but obviously that's to dilute the pure black race. if
Right,
that makes
right.
sense. If you're pure black, they're
It's to
seeing that
take
as a
you
threat.
away. It's to take you away from the essence, from what it is. Like, this is why something like taking down a
People are
Bill
probably looking
Cosby.
at this thinking, this guy's mixed race, he's Muslim. I'm like, but I understand.
But it's
what it
important
is.
that you are though.
Yeah, yeah.
Just for this right now,
Yeah.
it's important that you are, because somewhere down the line, in my family tree, there was a white man, right? Which is why I am how I am.
Mhm.
What's important to know, as I said, is that that was a part of the plan. That was another strategy to use to separate us, and then fed us a narrative of, to mix it is better. The whole tea thing, the tea bagging, water, blackness, get some milk.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
a
now
proper
that's a
tea.
tea.
That's a cup of tea right there.
That's a cup of tea. But see, all these little things, as much as they may seem like it's not a thing, they're all intentional. Everything is with intent. So, if it's with intent, how can we not be victims of that? Of course we're victims. Like, it affects us. Like, it's not a coincidence that we're at the bottom of the chain. Like, don't get me wrong, in actuality, we're the gods of this. No one's here without us. But at the same time, they have systematically put us in a space to where we can never get out. Cosby Show is such a threat to their way, it's scary. This is why it was kind of so important for them to make the example of Bill Cosby. Regardless of whatever happened, that show represents life, black life, healthy life. Different complexions, right? But it's positivity. It's healthy. It's what they don't want from us. So we're just gonna tweak it now. Eternals. Black man, he's gay. That's not life. A gay man can't create life. That's just what it is. That's just a fact. But all this is done with intent, so how can you not be victims of that? When that is the thing that governs you.
But I think when you ask that question, is it about how we live our lives? Because we're still victims of the system, but in terms of the freedom of the mind, although we're not always free too, we're still victims of that because we're all part of that. But when you ask that question, what is it about?
It was more just like in general of, do you think it's used? like I give the examples of the whole pulling that card. That do we use it as a way out
We're
or
entitled.
a
Entitled
blame?
to
You
use
know,
it
like a
at any
blame
point.
factor. Like
It's
if I'm
alright.
getting done for something
Yo.
wrong, is it because of that?
It's alright
It's
to
not even
use.
use enough.
It's alright to use it. OJ's thing, prime example. Johnny Cochran's thing was race and how we've been treated as people. He bust case because that is a key part. This is what you lot do. You lot have a pattern of dealing with us in a certain kind of way. It's
Hold on.
valid.
Wait,